Growlin Joe Hamhock. He is hailed by many, including himself, to be the modern-day king of the blues, thanks to an unforgettable repertoire of hit albums.
Oh, baby, I got the blues. So, baby, why don't you? I said, oh, baby, I got the blues. Hot mama, why don't you? Wow. I'm picking cotton every day, trying to keep the blues away.
And let's not forget his charismatic and sexually charged live performances.
Ooh, see, can you see? By the doors, early liar. What so proudly we hailed, good God. At the twilight, the twilight, the twilight. Last dream.
But his road to success has often been paved with hardships, shocking scandals, and bewildering controversies. Will the road eventually lead to triumph? Join me now as we learn more about the music.
Ooh, they call me Growlin Joe and I'm the king of the blues. The best that ever lived, oh babe, on front page news. They call me Growlin Joe, I'm the king of the world. So bring me all your whiskey and your hot little girls. It's time for all you peasants to bow on down, 'cause big king of Hamhock is wearing his crown.
Born to affluent parents in a high-rise apartment in Beverly Hills, Growlin Joe Hamhock did not have the humble beginnings of most blues singers. But shortly after his high school graduation, Joe received his first taste of life's hardships when both of his parents were killed in a tragic pogo stick collision.
My mom and dad was having fun out for a ride. They got bought the pogo sticks and jumped real high. They never saw it coming when the pogos collide. And now I got the blues 'cause both of them died. I tell all you pogo sticks right now, you know what's good for you, you better leave town.
Reeling from the tragedy, Joe squandered the next decade and a half of his life, often drinking to excess and obsessively masturbating to ladies' professional wrestling, both being pursuits that he still enjoys to this day. But it was a random visit to this establishment just after his 30th birthday that would forever change the course of music history.
That's the day it all started. That's the day that I became the new crowned king of the blues.
I met with Growlin Joe inside the gates of his opulent mansion so that we could hear the story of his musical beginnings firsthand.
So I was out with some friends at Dave and Buster's. We were drinking, playing games, and they had this drawing to win a free guitar. Right, so I won the guitar, and as I walked up there to have the guitar presented to me, overhead on the radio, I could hear this song by that great old-time blues man, Mississippi Mojo Enema.
I got the blues and the what I got. I got the blues and the blues and the what I got. I got the blues and the blues and the what I got. I got the.
Now, Mississippi Mojo Enema had been known as the king of the blues. So between having the guitar presented to me and hearing the song overhead at just that moment, I knew it all fit together, and the scepter was being passed to me, and I was to take over as the new modern-day king of the blues.
Well, that's quite a dramatic story. Could you explain to everyone watching, what happened next?
Well, of course, the first order of business was to write some songs, but my first public act to announce my royal reign to the world is I made a music video for YouTube. I found this fangirl to do some dancing, and we made the video for I Got a Woman.
I've got a woman who's a mean to me. I've got a woman who's a mean to me. She took away my penthouse magazine. I've got a woman who's a mean to me. She's mad because I brought home an STD. I said I've got a woman who's a mean to me. I've got a bad car that I drive around. I got a bad car that I drive around. I go to every liquor store and bar in town. I got a bad car that I drive around. I'm gonna find a drunken slut so I can party down. I got a bad car that I drive around. You looking for some lovin', baby? 'Cause today's your lucky day. You just been ham-hocked. I need a hot mama to make me feel better. With so much wool, she can knit me a sweater.
The video spread like a virus and had music fans talking. Some of the talk surrounded the video's featured dancer, April, who would go on to be a minor celebrity in her own right, as well as a controversial figure in Hamhock's career. But more on her later. One person taking instant notice of the YouTube video was music impresario Corporal Tommy Barker. Why exactly Barker is known as the Corporal remains a bit of a mystery, as no records of military service have ever been found. However, photographs just unearthed by our own research team seem to suggest that the title refers to Barker's fetishistic taste for corporal punishment. But be that as it may, Barker's managerial credentials were never in question, having already enjoyed chart-topping success with his previous client, Lucifer Sanchez.
I am the Dark Lord Lucifer, and I command thee to burn.
Following some robust negotiations over guitar-shaped swimming pools and round-the-clock slave girl services, Growlin Joe signed an exclusive contract with Corporal Management Inc. A mere 6 weeks later, he released his debut album, It's Good to Be King of the Blues. And a mere 6 weeks after that, the even bigger selling follow-up, Party Graw. And more albums soon followed in quick succession. Under the Corporal's breakneck schedule, Joe was often releasing albums before he even had a chance to write or record them. But it was this run of albums that helped to build his rabidly devoted fan base, now known as the Hamheads. The albums would also bring him much critical acclaim.
Growlin Joe Hamhock, obviously a pivotal figure in the development of modern blues, not only for his visceral disestablishmentarianism, but also when viewed through the lens of quasi-sociosexual utopianism.
To gain a better understanding of Growlin Joe's musical and social importance, I sat down with renowned music critic Timothy Longwind, the author of Interpreting Post-Reconstructionist Mythologies and Pre-Socio-Historical Contemporary Paradigms in the Insidiocratic Musical Lyrics of Growlin Joe Hamhock.
If we're going to discuss Growlin Joe as interpreted through the tropes and idioms of American blues, I think that we first need to discuss the invention of the electric guitar, and before that, the invention of electricity itself. The Cambodian genocides, Watergate, TV's Mr. Ed, and pseudo-Dionysian constructs juxtaposed Elvis, the Beatles, the emergence of chocolatey breakfast cereal.
Could you just move on to Growlin Joe, please?
Okay. Growlin Joe, I feel, is a very intellectual and innovative songwriter. I harken back to a song of his called The Beaver Trappin' Blues. And in that song, he has this wonderfully poignant, almost Dickensian lyric. It says,
I'm gonna trap us some beaver and munch it all night long.
as a post-utopian civilization,
oh, Christ.
when we hear a lyric like that, it gives us the context through which to interpret all of human history, because in those words are encapsulated the entirety of human history. And in fact, when I listen to it with the headphones on, in the background, I can actually hear the Berlin Wall crumbling.
Oh, Christ, you can hear no such thing. You've been babbling like a madman all day long, and everything you've said is complete rubbish.
I have a degree.
With his musical career still flying high, Growlin Joe next took a surprising leap into new, uncharted territory: motion pictures. For his first film project, Hamhock secured exclusive rights to the popular Elvis Presley film Clambake, reimagining it as his own starring vehicle, Hambake. Unsurprisingly, the film was a hit, gaining great acclaim among the throngs of devoted hamheads. The two hamheads seen here camped in front of the cinema for 2 nights just to be the first in line. Unfortunately, they were soon ejected from the theater for attempting to freebase their popcorn. With the success of Hambake, Growlin Joe was now a hot Hollywood commodity, and more starring vehicles would soon follow. Most notably, the buddy cop musical NYPD Blues and the erotic drama 50 Shades of Growl. Now dominating the worlds of both film and music, Joe's star power was certainly in ascendancy. What could possibly go wrong? With traditional record stores now on the decline, Hamhock next took a bold step into the digital age, making his next album available on a download-only basis. Titled Scat Baby Scat, the album was Joe's tribute to the lost art of improvisational jazz and blues scat singing.
Who squiddly bobbly doobly dobbly shabbly dabbly dinto?
A shoobity mama, a shoobity mama,
A diddly doddly squiddly doddly doo.
But then, when thousands of fans typed the words Scat Baby Scat into an internet search engine, they were misdirected to a lurid website of adult baby scat porn, the Poopy Pants Playpen. The cyber glitch was astronomical, and Joe's download experiment was a financial disaster. Adding insult to injury, the Poopy Pants Playpen gained over 50,000 new members.
Skiddly boppity shoobity doobity doo.
Scatgate, as it came to be known, was just the beginning of a downward trend in Growlin Joe's career. The coming few years would bring only more hardship, scandal, and controversy to the beleaguered bluesman. Die-hard hamheads would next be shocked by media reports that Joe had split from his longtime backing band, the Lowly Peasants. I asked Joe to address this controversy on camera, but even 4 years after the fact, he didn't have much to say.
They were called the lowly peasants for a reason. Next question.
For his part, Corporal Barker issued a press release citing artistic differences. But the entertainment media told a different story.
Today, the Lowly Peasants, longtime backup band for self-proclaimed King of the Blues Growlin Joe Hamhock, announced they were parting ways with the former YouTube sensation. Citing egotistical differences, the band gave Growlin Joe the heave-ho.
The Blues King was shaken to his core by the recent run of bad luck. Then one night, drunk on a potent cocktail of cheap whiskey and industrial-strength oven cleaner, Joe sought comfort in the arms of organized religion. His sudden spiritual awakening came while listening to an inspiring sermon by author and televangelist Brother Michael Faith. Brothers and sisters, if each and every one of you does not pledge $1,000 per month to this ministry, God is gonna smite my entire family. And when he's done,
He might just smite you too.
And it was Joe's newfound faith that provided the creative driving force behind his controversial next album, The King of the Blues Meets the King of the Jews, his first foray into contemporary Christian music. Unfortunately, the album was fervently rejected by religious audiences. One particularly scathing review in the pages of Christianity Now stated, "This album is to the Christian faith what botulism is to soup." In a rare concession to defeat, Joe and the Corporal cancelled a string of co-headlining tour dates with Christian rockers Motley Crucifix, forever robbing the world of their chance to be musically evangelized at such prestigious venues as the Podunk County Pork Pavilion. Feeling burned by his rejection in the religious market, Growlin Joe next took a bold step in the completely opposite direction. Noting the ongoing success of Corporal Barker's other client, Lucifer Sanchez, Joe decided to take his own stab at the genre of satanic heavy metal. 668, the neighbor of the beast, received an even colder reception than his Christian rock debacle. The rather opinionated hosts of television's That Headbanger Show denounced the album as the worst thing to happen to metal since Rust. Joe's next scandal came by way of a figure from his past. April, the dancing fangirl featured in his very first YouTube video. In the intervening years, she had become a sought-after internet celebrity, as well as the cover girl for such respected publications as Frontage, Assets, and that acclaimed literary evergreen Crotch Shot Quarterly. But it was her salacious tell-all revelations to the tabloid press that raised the most eyebrows. She accused Growlin Joe of rampant egotism, perverse sexual advances, obsessive stalking, and even underwear theft. Though Joe denied her unflattering claims, his next single, titled Every Month is April, seemed only to confirm them, as did its accompanying music video.
The month is April, baby. And you know that ain't no lie. My calendar, it ain't even got no June or no July. 'Cause every month is April, darling. Won't you call me on my telephone? And you can keep me company when I'm naked and alone.
After hearing rumors of a pending lawsuit against Growlin Joe, I attempted to interview April for this program.
April, so SIR Nigel Bergamot of About the Music. We're doing an episode on Growlin Joe
I don't want
Hamhock.
to talk about that jerk. He didn't pay me for the video I did.
But there's been accusations of stalking and a talk of a lawsuit.
There's going to be a lawsuit against you, too.
Well, that went swimmingly well, didn't it?
Wounded by April's rejection, Joe spent the next 4 months locked away in his mansion, a virtual recluse. He would only leave the comforts of his bed long enough to pour drinks or change wrestling videos. And it was during this period that the most bizarre footnote of his career would take place. So is this when Dr. Danley moved in to help you get off the drugs?
No, see, that's not right. I had never touched hard drugs in my life. I was just a whiskey man before that. Dr. Danley's the one that got me started on the drugs. It's part of my therapy.
Oh. Dr. Gino Danley, the controversial live-in therapist to the stars, would become a constant presence during Joe's lost months, acting as parent, confidant, wet nurse, and ultimately musical collaborator.
And today, if there are any hamheads left in the world, they were bewildered by Growlin Joe Hamhock's bizarre new album. I went to speak with him about it recently in his mansion. So Growlin Joe, what inspired this new masterpiece?
Well, you know how there's a day, and then that day, there's a day after that day, and then the next day is different than the day. Well, who are you?
This is Denise Greenwood reporting live from Growlin Joe Hamhock's bed.
You want some?
No, thank you. As you can see, under the care of controversial therapist Dr. Gino Danley, Growlin Joe seems to become Babylon Joe.
The aforementioned album was titled Dr. Danley's Quadraphonic Animal Noises Band. It was an avant-garde conceptual piece, every bit as drug-addled and incoherent as its two creators.
Number 10, number 10, number 10, number 10, number 10, number 10. Number 10, number 10, number 10, number 10, number 10, number 10, number 10.
The album was universally despised by the hamheads. Some organized bonfires to burn their CDs, while others petitioned to have Growlin Joe burned at the stake, though their campaign was unsuccessful. Concerned by Dr. Danley's increasing control over Joe's life, it was Corporal Barker who finally intervened on Joe's behalf, handing Danley his walking papers, which the doctor promptly rolled into a joint and smoked with Growlin Joe. I went to Dr. Danley's office to get his side of the story, but he refused to speak on camera. He did, however, offer me a lifetime prescription to the psychotropic drug of my choice. Oh, goody. With the dastardly doctor now out of the picture, Joe and the corporal still found themselves with a mountain of trouble. Joe's CD sales had fallen drastically. The few movie offers he received were at best below par. And even his once reliable concert engagements had sunk to abysmal new lows. But worse yet, many of Joe's beloved hamheads had fallen under the spell of younger copycat artists, such as Philadelphia PA's Grunt and Jack Cheesesteak and Boise, Idaho's Howling Julio Pork Butt. However, just as Joe's popularity was hitting absolute rock bottom, Corporal Barker unveiled an amazing master plan to take his client right back to the top. Phase 1. Joe had been without a full-time backing band since his split with the lowly peasants. So Corporal Barker scoured local open stages and jam nights, quickly assembling a new, improved ensemble, the Groveling Commoners. However, the musician scene here was soon let go from the band when a criminal background check by the corporal revealed a history of public indecency and a subscription to an illegal and lascivious magazine titled Popular Bestiality. Phase 2. After so long out of the popular spotlight, Joe needed a strict regiment to retrain himself into prime performing condition. Phase 3. In order to rebuild Joe's career step by step, gradually moving back to the level of state fairs and stadiums, the corporal first had to book him onto any godforsaken stage that would take him. Or any stage that would take, let's call them, lowball bribes.
What the hell?
I am the comeback king, and I'm coming to your town. Soon you're gonna know that I'm the greatest thing around. I am the comeback king, wherever I may roam. When you ladies come to see me, you can leave your panties at home. And this comeback king is coming back to stay. So all you other blues men, just get out my way. Come back, I'm the comeback king. Come back, I'm the comeback king. Come back, I'm the comeback king. You can worship me and you can kiss my ring. Now all you royal subjects, gather around. The groveling commoner's gonna lay down some sound. Come back, king, come back, king. Wow. Okay, that's enough of that. It's time for me to scat. Diddly swaddly bang bong, bibbly bobbly boo, staggity baggity gaggity 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 boo, gaggity hubba hubba hey, hubbity bubbity scrubbity dubbity bibbity bubbity bang. Now you all know that I'm the comeback king, and the chorus is coming up, so it's time for you to sing. Come back, I'm the comeback king. Come back, I'm the comeback king. You can throw your panties while I dance and I sing. Come back, I'm the comeback king.
Against all odds, the master plan was working. The Comeback King video cracked the top 20 countdown. CD sales were looking up again. There were friendly new faces camped out in front of Joe's mansion. And even Hollywood came calling, this time with projects worthy of Joe's immeasurable talent and charisma. Excuse me, I've something in my throat. But better yet, Joe's latest long player, titled Let Them Eat Ham, was his highest charting success since the disaster of Scatgate.
Well, I think to process the cultural significance of adult baby scat porn...
Oh, just shut up! Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. As I was saying, the success of the new album, impressive though it was, would prove to be only a warm-up for the unexpected career move that came next. Phase 4. In a bid to expand Joe's appeal to new and more sophisticated audiences, the Corporal would next guide his career into previously uncharted territory, the musical theater.
For 3 weeks only, at the historic Formula H Hemorrhoid Relief Auditorium, Growlin Joe Hamhock is the Phantom of the Blues Club. Sing once again with me, my strange duet. That's right, baby. My power over you. It goes stronger yet. Yeah. And though you turn from me, sexy mama, to glance behind, I don't blame you, baby. The Phantom of the Blues Club is there. Inside your mind. Hey, Christine, how about you drop that fancy dress and show Cleveland your tatas? Buy 2 tickets now. Get an extra ticket half price. Only with 2 Formula H Hemorrhoid Relief Proof of Purchase seals. The Phantom of the Blues Club, presented by Concert Nation.
The daring theatrical experiment was a bona fide hit. And better yet, the show's original cast recording garnered Joe his first ever nomination for a prestigious Music Achievement Award. The category was Album of the Year, and Joe faced some mighty competition, such as creatively impaired hitmaker John Hoosier Menstrual Cramp, those darlings of the doom metal scene, Cannibal Smoothie, and the vaguely Aryan bluegrass fun of them Roadkill Holler Banjo Boys. But to the delight of hamheads everywhere, Growlin Joe Hamhock reigned supreme. Of course, Not everyone was pleased with Joe's moment of triumph, and one disgruntled nominee even took to social media, making wild claims that the results had somehow been rigged by Corporal Barker. And while hard evidence to support such claims remains sketchy, About the Music's own research team has just uncovered irrefutable proof that Corporal Tommy Barker belongs to a secret society of corporal punishment enthusiasts, the Paddle Boys Brotherhood. Their powerful membership is rumored to include fast food moguls, music industry insiders, and United States congressmen. Could the Paddle Boys have used their influence to alter the outcome of the Music Awards show? For some, it is a question too terrifying to ask. But be that as it may, there is no denying that the Corporal's master plan to bring Joe's career back from the brink of disaster had been an absolute smashing success. Now the only question on the minds of hamheads was, what will the comeback king do next? Joe soon answered with a return to the type of rock and blues that had made him famous. It would also prove to be the biggest selling album of his career, Pickin' Cotton with Growlin Joe Hamhock.
Oh, baby, let me be your cotton-picking man. I was born picking cotton in the fields of Louisiana.
Wait a minute. What? Joe, on your new album you sing extensively about picking cotton.
That's right.
But you're a wealthy white man who lives in a mansion in Beverly Hills.
No, you see, picking cotton is the blues tradition. You see, all the old-time bluesmen, they used to sing about picking cotton, right? So, when I was crowned the new king of the blues, I went to the store and I bought some cotton, and sometimes for inspiration, I sit here in my mansion and I pick it. I pick my cotton and I write songs about picking cotton.
My God, man, that was about slavery. They didn't do it for recreation.
Well, I'm the king, so I think maybe I know what I'm talking about.
Talking? You call that talking? You're from Beverly Hills, but you talk with this ridiculous Cajun accent that sounds like Emerald Lagasse and Foghorn Leghorn had a brain-damaged baby. And by the way, do you even know where Louisiana is?
Yeah.
Okay, where?
It's in Memphis.
No, it's not in Memphis.
Well, I might not be no fancy geographer, son, but I tell you what I am, okay? I am the king of the blues.
A king? Just because of that ridiculous story about hearing a song at Dave and Buster's? Suppose it had been a Village People song that played. Would you now be the king of disco?
Who is this guy? I want another interviewer. You go get Corporal Barker. This pompous ass is not treating me with the respect that I am due.
Are you drinking Windex?
As the new crowned king of the blues. Now, I want to look at these contracts. I want to see.
And due to contractual obligations, we're back. Corporal Tommy Barker continues to manage Growlin Joe. He's also recently added to his stable country music superstar Hasty W. Dump Truck, winner of the CMA's Record of the Year for Outhouse Incest Boogie. Timothy Longwind has recently released his latest scholarly work, deconstructing post-Raphaelite imagery and pseudo-Gauguinian textual... Oh, does anyone really care? April settled her lawsuit against Growlin Joe to the tune of $20,000 and an heirloom quality restraining order. She has reportedly abandoned magazine modeling and reinvented herself as a serious actress, appearing in such celluloid masterworks as Shark Fu Young. You don't eat them, they eat you. Brother Michael Faith is currently embroiled in his third sex scandal. This one involving a perky young secretary and a shepherd's staff. Lucifer Sanchez has taken a page from Growlin Joe's playbook, expanding his appeal to the musical theater.
The sun'll come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow. Come with me.
Denise Greenwood is now a celebrity judge on American Voice Off, where she crushes the dreams of young singers with smug and sadistic glee. Motley Crucifix briefly topped the Christian music charts with a musical version of the popular Left Behind series. But it all came to a sudden end when their lead singer was arrested in a public restroom for corrupting the morals of a crack whore. As for myself, SIR Nigel Bergamot, I am currently seeking new employment, and I humbly ask that BBC America return my phone calls. And as for Growlin Joe Hamhock, he is currently sailing the high seas as the host of his first ever Hamhead Weekend Blues Cruise. It's a golden opportunity for mere peasant folk to rub elbows with greatness and squander their life savings on shoddily produced souvenirs. But yee-haw! What a glorious time they must be having as they enjoy exclusive musical performances, endless helpings of substandard cuisine, and a veritable smorgasbord of sexually transmitted diseases. I'm the king of the blues! Oh, God help us.